It's the start of the longest Formula 1 season ever. 23 races in 2023, and it all starts here at the Bahrain International Circuit. And here's how the calendar lines out. We start in Bahrain before moving over to Saudi Arabia and Australia, taking up into April. A month off before Azerbaijan, back-to-back with Miami. Imola then follows Monaco with the remaining May dates. Spain moves to June, along with Canada and Austria leading into July. British Grand Prix on the 9th of July, then Hungary, and then Belgium rounds us out to the summer break. We come back at the Netherlands, then Italy, 2 weeks later Singapore, back-to-back with Japan. Qatar back on the calendar with a sprint race. United States, Mexico, Brazil, new addition to Las Vegas as well on the 18th of November. The season rounds out in Abu Dhabi on the 26th of November. 23 races, it's the longest F1 calendar in history. The drivers are itching to get going. For the first time in 2023, it's practice time for the Bahrain Grand Prix at the Shakir circuit. Formula 1 is back. Let's take a look around the Bahrain International Circuit, a 3.362-mile circuit, 15 turns in total, 3 DRS zones as well. High elevation change up towards turn number 4. It's a fast, abrasive circuit. Get a good exit then out of the last corner and boot it hard towards turn number 1. Maximum usage as well of the DRS and ERS power. You're going 8th gear flat out, over 300 kilometers, lap on the brakes very late, turn in a very tight right-hander. Careful as you accelerate the power, flat out through the kink at 2 and then the rise uphill towards turn 3 with the second DRS detection zone. Turn 4 flat out, braking around about 80 meters to go, flick the car in once again to the right, let it drift out wide. Pick up the accelerator, don't go all 4 wheels off the white line as well, but try and use it as much as possible. Down to the sand dune section now, 5th gear, right through the curves as well. Get back on the power, heavy braking stop once again, down all the way, 2nd gear corner, back to the right. Power mid-on at the exit, rise up. Turn 9 and 10, double sweeping left-hander. Take the first one tight, brake hard, and turn. A lot of lockers on the inside front left here as well. It's the tight turn 10. DRS opens once again for the 3rd time. Down you go towards turn 11. Important to keep the car moving, important to keep the brakes on, light tap of the brakes down in 4th gear, power through mid-exit as well, right up the curbs. Now, turn 12 and 13, very important, don't touch the curbs at all, otherwise I'll spin you towards the wall. It's one of those type of circuits. Flick now, down, mid through, the last turn 13, down, once again, the long back straight, no DRS, you're going to have to pass here with ERS management as well, into turn 14 as well, another heavy braking zone, down 3rd gear, back again to the right, turn 15's practically invisible as you hurtle down with the DRS open through the first activation zone across the line. That is a lap of the Bahrain International Circuit here in Shakir. Oh, it's been a long winter's break. A lot of long nights as well. Finally, we can burst out of the darkness into the light. It is free practice 1 for the 2023 Bahrain Grand Prix. The season starts right here, right now. Testing has come and gone. We've learned all we can as well. Some good, some bad. Whether or not Aston Martin have true pace, whether or not Red Bull are really at the top. We're Ferrari, we're Mercedes, McLaren were nowhere. There's so many questions that we're going to get answers to here this weekend. Alongside me in the commentary box for the first practice session, as usual, is our pit reporter Josh, and Synthor joins us in the com box as well. You'll be hearing him in F2 and F3 this season. Synth, Josh, good morning to you. First of all, Synth, how was your week since testing, and how was your winter overall?
Yeah, well, mostly obviously waiting for Formula 1, and well, we're finally here, so I can't wait for this session. I can't wait for tomorrow. It's going to be a great weekend, and I'm really looking forward to this.
Josh, a new setup you've got as well, which looks absolutely fantastic. We've also got access for the first time up here in the commentary box in the UK via the Sky F1 app, which if you have Sky Sports at any point you can log in and take a look to. We have all 20 drivers on board, so we've got the data screens, everything. We're going to be able to keep across of much more than we were last year. Exactly what we wanted. We've now got the onboards. We can see everything. It's going to be a great season.
Yeah, it is. Hello, everybody. And I know that me and you, Josh, are going to have a lot of fun with the new features on the Sky Sports app. But I think it's going to be a good season, and it will be interesting to see who is on top for practice 1, which will be going green in just under 8 minutes' time.
Yeah,
just over 8 minutes' time.
Yeah, new features coming available as well to us here on the YouTube channel. So if they go side by side at any point, we should be able to get that in. It might not work for practice 1, but we'll get it sorted for practice 2 as well, with all the data screens you'll need moving around, jumbling as well to get them on, because it comes off the Discord feed. But a lot more data, a lot more anticipation coming into this year as well. Since coming back to you, Max Verstappen, he and Perez ended testing the fastest. Red Bull doing big improvements as well, able to gain a second overall their testing time last year. Everybody's been saying they're the favourites, they're the favourites. What do you think? Because I think it's a lot closer than what it was last year.
It might be, well, from what we've heard, it may be even possible that they have even a bigger gap to the second place team this year. So let's hope that's not going to be the case, of course. Even as Verstappen fan, I do hope we will have a very close season, but we might not have, and I hope we will. But yeah, it could go anyway, and I think everyone is right that Red Bull is going to be the favorite for this year.
Josh, Aston Martin has surprised everybody. First of all, Lance Stroll is racing, at least in practice 1. He's going to go out, do some runnings as well. He's down on the sheet. We've got Drugovich and Van Dorn as backups. But Fernando Alonso was the bigger surprise in the test as well. Second on day 1, third day 2, ninth in day 3. But that was after some technical problems touched the car. Is Aston's pace genuine? Because people are putting them right up there with the Ferraris, Mercedes and the Red Bulls as well.
Yeah, I think Aston Martin's pace is genuine, and we'll have to see if that continues throughout this weekend and going forward to Saudi Arabia and the other rounds. But it's going to be interesting for Lance Stroll, who missed testing and is back for this weekend, or just through practice 1. But Felipe Drugovich is still at the circuit if he does need to take part.
If you're new here and just joining us, it's not just us three talking. Don't worry about that. We'll have the data screen with the driver tracker as well. We'll have the information screens, timing screens, everything you need to keep across without actually showing the pictures. We've got track audio as well with the car noises coming in as well over us. We have team radio access as well. So everything bar the pictures that you need to enjoy Formula 1, we've got here on the watch along as well. The times have just become available and the timing screens have burst into life. It looks absolutely fantastic. It's almost like you don't really want the season to start because there's so many questions since that we've got to answer. Who do you think is going to be topping free practice 1 then? Is anybody already thinking, okay, they're going to go fast, they're going to take the top?
Well, I mean, to be honest, I think it may be a Red Bull which will top this session, or a Ferrari. I think those two may be the quickest one, unless Aston Martin is even quicker than we think. So I think we may... it's going to be an interesting session for sure. I think this is going to be a lot more representative to the actual season than obviously pre-season testing. So this is going to be an interesting practice session.
Let's take a look at it then on board. This is the driver tracker that we were talking about, as well as the information screen. Everything we need to see becoming available to us as well. 12:30 GMT. This session is scheduled to end as well, so we'll be keeping you up to date with all of the information. About 5 minutes to go then until the green light goes on for the first time this season as well. The track noise has joined us. Stand by. Here we go. Wake up, don't miss this. It's the start of a whole new year of Formula One action. Evolution is the name of the game. After 2022's revolution, it's time to see which teams are hot and who's not. We're in Shakir, in the middle of the desert. When we first came here back in 2004, it was a wasteland. Now the city's been built around the first of 4 races we have here in the Middle East. It's a fantastic circuit, 5.412 kilometers, 3.36 miles, 63% of the lap is at full throttle as well. 3 DRS zones all extended around this 15-turn circuit. Maximum elevation change at 16.8 meters at the top of the hill at turn 4. You're over 330 kilometers an hour around this lap. Tyre compounds, well, it's a hard abrasive circuit it's developed into here. So it's the hard C1, the medium C2, and the soft has the C3 tyre compound as well. Everyone's looking to see who's going to be the fastest, who's going to be the bravest as well. The city that has sort of built itself around this circuit is bubbling with life as well. Track temperature 42 degrees, air temperature 27 degrees, 11% humidity, winds blowing into the northwest at 12.6 kilometers. But it is all time. Talking and testing can stop, action can start, and we're ready for first practice. Good morning to Cynthia and to Josh. Synth, it's a good day to be an F1 fan. We're back in town, and it's the start of a new year.
Yeah, it's been a long wait, and luckily we can finally say that it is race weekend, and I think we will be very excited. All of us will be, and it's going to be interesting. All our questions will be hopefully answered during the course of this weekend. So let's see what we'll see.
Josh, I mean, the anticipation's through the roof as well. And of course, practice 1 and practice 3 sort of irrelevant to the rest of the weekend. They take place in daytime, with this being a night race. But still, it's an important session, this first practice of the year. Everyone's got to get out there, shake down the cars. Some have tweaked some setups and new rear wings coming in after testing. It's important to get going and just to see if you've got the correct package for the weekend, because there isn't a lot of practice time, just 3 hours.
Yeah, that really is. We've got 2 hours today, 1 hour with starting just over 1 minute, and then an hour later on, which kicks off at 3 p.m. And if I'm right, you can join the pre-show from 2:45, and then again, 2:45, 3:15.
Yeah.
No, yeah, 2:45.
Quarter 3.
It is the start of the season, and then practice 3 from 11:30, same time. Catch the pre-show from 11:15.
I've just noticed as well, I did want to make one change, and I was going to do it on air because not everybody liked it. I've gone off the hashtag F1 bit. I didn't like it, so
Yeah.
if you watch it, hashtag Bahrain works, but we're changing it up this year. We're just going to have the F1 at the top there, so it's F1, F2 and F3, so hopefully that's a little bit better, because we're just trying to rebrand a little bit and get it going, and testing it really sort of annoyed me. So it's F1, then the hashtag race as well. 45 seconds to go. Charles Leclerc's boots into the car. Since, do you reckon Leclerc's going to have a calmer weekend? It's really the first go around for a new strategy of team at Ferrari, and this is sort of like, does it work, does it not work?
Yeah, definitely. There's maybe hopefully for them a bigger chance of winning the championship than last year. Obviously, they have changed a few things at the team with the new team boss, Frederick Vasseur, obviously coming from Alfa Romeo. So, well, I hope Ferrari will be closer this year, and I think then Leclerc could be in for winning the championship.
Keep an eye out on Fernando Alonso. He's going to head out there as well. Keep an eye on Lance Stroll. But are you ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's green light and underway we go for 2023. Cars are on track. And this is going to get special. Everyone taking the photo as well. First out there as well. Albon, Sargent, Bottas, Zhou, Norris going out. Verstappen's coming down pit road as well. They all need to get out there. They all need to find out what exactly is shaking down the car. No Friday drivers in this session either. All cars that are taking part in this session are drivers for the full season. And I tell you what as well, Josh, this is going to be fantastic to see who gets where when we get going.
Yeah, there is George Russell in the back of the garage getting ready to go out on track. But it's going to be a really good season, I think, the 2023 Formula 1 season. Of course, going to the Sports Series, got F2 and F3 in Albert Park in Australia, which will be really interesting. Here come the two pink Alpines
of course
for this season. But I believe it's the first 2 or 3 races they are going to be pink, and then they'll go back to their normal blue and a little bit of pink livery.
Yeah, they changed, don't
for the
they?
rest of the season.
Yeah, they've got this sort of stuck in their way for a while now, until after Australia. They're going to be the setup. So I suppose it's a good idea. And it's a good strategy call, but personally, I don't see what's wrong with just keeping the same old car and allowing the blue and pink to speak for itself. I don't like that we keep having this sort of switcheroo we keep getting.
Yeah, I don't think it's really necessary either, but, well, Alpine chose that they wanted to make sure that the BWT was noticeable, but I think it was very clear the pink already with the blue, so... Well, yeah, but they've chosen to get it even for 3 races. Last year it was only 2, but this time they take it with them to Australia as well.
We've got our driver tracker operational, and we've also got our information screen operational now as well, as we've had to sort of load everything up. Pink head padding material must be used as well. Risk of rain is 0% for this session as well, as... just like to make sure everything's okay. Can you send the link for the stream, says Black Jim. Josh, if you could send the T-feed link, because inside the T-feed, Mr. Black Jim, there is streams 1, 2, 3 just below the driver tracker, and that takes you to different links. So that is something that we can offer this year, because they've put that in. So T-feed seems to be working a bit better. Driver track is operational, cars out the track, and now we are go for the first lap times of the year. Wonder who's going to have it. Nick de Vries coming in. He's raced here in Formula 2 back in 2017. Raced in the category 6 times in total. Best result, though, was only 5th since in the 2018 sprint race. De Vries never really had much luck round here at Bahrain.
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting. I think he's going to be an interesting driver to watch throughout this season. If he's going to be able to beat Yuki Tsunoda, that's going to be the question, because many people expect from him to do that already, maybe already now in his debut season, but it might not be actually that easy for him to beat Yuki Tsunoda, so that could be very interesting to see. Let's see, he's going through turn 8 now. Nick de Vries, great to have him in Formula 1. I think he definitely deserves the spot as an F2 and FE champion.
Just to inform Josh, by the way, it is around about a 50-second delay on the timing screens up here in the comms box on our driver trackers, but that's okay. We're watching. We've got access to all the onboards this year, so de Vries is that we're looking at now. We can take a look at, but I can also select Bottas and Tsunoda, who's out on the circuit as well. So it's really great fun. We'll be playing with that. You'll be hearing the audio as well during the sessions. When Sky go to an ad break as well. Let's say good morning to Omi as well. Let's have a good start to the season. Hello. Dimas says hello. Do you see the new F1 intro on the channel YouTube? Yes. Just saw it ourselves on the TV pitch as well. Looks okay. I compared on Twitter to Love Island. Sort of an introduction there. Good morning to Adam, who says F1 season is here. It's going to be incredible. I'm awake here in the USA. Let's get going. And there's the commentary box, because they've got Nat Pinkham alongside Anne Davidson and Naomi Schiff. Let's say good morning to them.
Might be on camera, so I took a slower pace walk to get here with you guys.
The strategy.
Excellent. And what were your takeaways? You weren't here at testing, but you watched it all. What did you think?
Look, obviously great that Red Bull have come back with a car that's so dominant, but I think I would have liked to have seen a little bit of a tighter, pecking order between the top teams. We want to see a show. We want the teams at the front to be very close together so we can have as much action on track this year as possible. But, big surprise, obviously, Aston Martin. Don't know if you guys discussed it while I was walking over, but it is nice to see that there's a new team possibly in that battle for second best placed team. So that should definitely bring some excitement at least this weekend.
The thing is, though, as fans, we love the headline news, don't we? And then we sort of exaggerate it in our own ways, like Aston Martin and McLaren. Oh, they were terrible at testing. And, how bad were McLaren in your eyes?
I don't think we're not exaggerating that much when we talk about, look, have Aston Martin improved since last year? Categorically, yes.
They have, but I'll throw the question to you, Synth and Josh. McLaren, at least laps done in the test. I think, was it 311, something like that as well? Not many in total. They've also, but it was Alpine, who I said as well. They were the worst. They lost time compared to last year's car. So out of the two, McLaren or Alpine, which has had the worst test and which is the worst coming into the start of the season?
Well, I think McLaren will be the worst at the start of the season, but I think they'll fight back towards the end. So I think at the end of the season, Alpine will be down at the bottom. So that's what I think. Yeah.
What do you think, Josh? I'm agreeing with Sid there as well. McLaren might be up there, but Alpine down. But what do you think after we watch the testing?
I think Alpine will definitely be down there for at least the first couple of races. Hopefully they'll be able to pick up and have an interesting couple of battles.
Have you seen the timing screens? Fernando Alonso is fastest at 1:35.048. And if I take my earphone off, I swear I just heard Megan Bird shout, "Stop the clock." That's it. Season's done for her. That's it. You'll be hearing from Megan halfway through practice 2 and into qualifying the race tomorrow. Max Verstappen 73 thousandths down on Alonso's time at the moment. Now, as Tech Kravitz reports, as we talk about Aston Martin, their incredible gain over the winter break, it didn't come in one lap pace, it came in race pace. Their long runs were about 5 to 6 seconds faster. That was what was amazing. On one set of tyre, they kept their length in the tyres constantly. Ferrari had the worst degradation of all the teams. Aston Martin had the best. Red Bull were third behind Mercedes. So long runs on Sunday is going to be really interesting to see who's going to be on top. But I think this is why I'm generally getting more and more excited. Red Bull have got the fast car, but Aston Martin have got the race car. So it's really interesting to try and develop between the two.
Yeah, well, for now, it looks like the Aston Martin is quicker. It's only the first laps, of course, but it doesn't look like Verstappen's going to be able to beat that time, though he has quite a lot of purples. Mini sectors to the final sector. Stroll going for a lap now as well. It's going to be interesting to see how well he's going to be doing this year after he missed pre-season testing. So this might be, well, he's not going for a quick lap now, I think, but
Verstappen's backed out of it. Leclerc is also doing a slow lap. I'm just seeing on the onboard. So he isn't pushed yet. I think he's towing around Carlos Sainz. Now he's got Lewis Hamilton, so I think he'll go for it soon. Perez second, 135.069. And he is 21 thousandths off the pace of Alonso. But look at Verstappen, third fastest and 3/10 on the medium tyre run. That's an interesting start as we see Lance Stroll back into the pits. As they come through. And I just want to pick up actually, guys, on Lance Stroll. How much pain do you reckon he's going through in that car right now? Broken right wrist, bandage on his left from where he scraped the car. And this is Oscar Piastri just coming through the sand dune section. Another snap. He had one in testing as well down at turn 9. Let's have a radio.
The rear there.
And Oscar, is the car all okay? Yeah, oh, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, we were just talking about Lance there. And if you see
Naomi, it's a team radio. Don't talk over the team radio. I don't know how many times that happened last year, but it's a big snap as well from Oscar Piastri there, Synth. And he did catch it well, but that just proves that McLaren car's all over the place.
Yeah, very good save. Well, we've seen it, the only spin of pre-season testing was by Oscar Piastri as well, and we've seen Fernando Alonso also struggling in testing with the car. A lot of sliding going on at places which you don't usually have a moment of oversteer. Well, Piastri having a slide there. It can be interesting to see if the McLaren is actually struggling that much. It looks very difficult to drive, at least, that McLaren.
Yeah, he's on a lap time now, just coming up towards turn 12 and 13. He's 8 tenths down in the second sector on Alonso's time. Just quickly, I want to pick up on the YouTube chat here. Adam says, picking Max Verstappen to win on Sunday. Brave call, I'd agree with it. But remember, nobody who has won the first race has gone on to win the championship since 2016. That was Nico Rosberg as well, who was the last driver to win the championship. He actually goes 5th, 136.274, but that's an incredible stat, and it is a running theme. If you win race 1 of the season, don't count your chickens, you're going to win the championship, because that curse has been going strong since 2017 onwards.
Yeah, so Megan might need to take that back with Alonso.
That's true.
Stop the count.
Yeah. Yeah, just sort of back off there. Yeah, in case that is the truth. And if Alonso wins this weekend, I think Megan will be happy, but a bit disappointed. Because, of course, he won in 2010 here in Bahrain, the season opener, and didn't win the title, lost out the last race by Petrov coming through. We're just looking at Oscar Piastri's history. 2018 was 2018, 2 seasons in the Renault Euro Cup, 3 seasons then in Formula 3, then a season in Formula 2, won the title then. Didn't race last year. Andrea Stella, now the team principal at McLaren, the new team principal at McLaren, all going through as well. And a lovely tribute on the front there as well to Jenny Harman as well, who sadly passed away down there in the Haas garage on the front wing. Just want to take the opportunity actually as well. Jenny Gao, BBC Sports 5 Live pit reporter and presenter, isn't with the team this season as well. After during the winter break, she suffered a very serious stroke as well. We said that back in Formula E's first race. I'm delighted to say that she is on the road to recovery, and she sent a voice note as well to the BBC 5 Live gang as well. Her speech was most affected, but it was remarkable how like Jenny it still is, her speech. So I send my best to her as well, and I hope we get her back on the track soon. It's not the same without Jenny Gao in the pit lane on 5 Live, as we've got our first times for the first 13 coming on the board. Perez top now, 134.343. Alonso, Verstappen, Hamilton and Gasly round out the top 5. Josh, coming to you as well. We've already had track action this morning with the F2s and F3s, so it's rubbing in a bit more, but the first sessions as well, not really going to see much in terms of action. In fact, it's going to be similar to testing in terms of they're just going to go out there, shake the car down, then practice 2, as you said earlier tonight. That's going to be the real heavy focus.
Yeah, it really is, and I am trying to find the graphic which I just had hold of on Twitter of the times of practice 1.
Oh yes, we needed those, didn't we? I think I had it
for the
somewhere.
past 10 years, and I believe I've got it. Here we are. So last year it was Pierre Gasly who was fastest in practice 1 with a 134.1.
2 seconds.
Something burning on the first lap. Okay.
Logan Sargent saying he could smell something burning on the first lap. I did wonder why he came back into the pit lane, as well. He's still out there in 10th position, so hopefully he's not going to be too bad. I'll go on board with him as well, just to make sure he's okay. Now that we can.
are reading each other's mind.
Yeah, on board, just looking at him. He's going slow at the moment on the circuit, but he's looking to be okay. Anyway, continue with your point, Josh.
Yeah, so last year it was of 134.193. We're currently at a 134.343 with Sergio Perez. Now, the last time a Red Bull topped FP1 was 2021, and that was Verstappen with a 131.394. But the quickest lap time we've had in free practice 1 at the Bahrain Grand Prix in the past 10 years was Lewis Hamilton, 2020, a 129.033.
So really close, like really close. That's not too bad then, not too bad. Just taking a look actually as we look at Alessandro as well, down in the pits. I think Ted's got news.
In the right direction.
Is Ted, are you there?
Okay, Ted, we're seeing pictures of the Mercedes there. What have you got for us?
Thank you, Natalie. Yes, down at Mercedes. Did you see the rainbow stripe on Lewis Hamilton's helmet? So,
Yes.
That's back, so good to see he's doing that. And there we have an update on the piercings. I can't believe that
excellent.
we're going into another season talking
Oh,
about
yeah, we were going to talk about the piercings.
FIA's campaign against piercings, but I think you all know the background of it. The FIA says that there is a rule across all FIA competitions that all drivers under those competitions are not allowed to wear any piercings in the car. And as you know, Lewis Hamilton has a nose stud. And they were not able, Mercedes this morning were not able to say that Lewis Hamilton had passed the scrutineering in terms of not wearing that nose stud. And they looked at it, and actually they got a doctor's report from Lewis Hamilton's side of the garage saying that repeated removal and reinstatement of the nose stud could cause disfigurement. And that's why they've got an exemption. So it's effectively Lewis's nose stud is still in. I know I told you this is niche, but it is, you know, a story that's rumbling on. And maybe we can develop it against sort of the FIA on a larger scale. But yeah, he's still got the nose stud in. Does have a medical exemption, which the FIA have accepted. And no further action is to be taken. But the FIA says that this rule is for safety reasons, applies to all competitors in all FIA competitions, and as the most visible competitors in world motorsport, Formula One drivers have a responsibility to set the example for other drivers at every age, level and discipline. So that's the FIA's view. Clearly Lewis has a different view, and the story will rumble on. I'll go down to Williams and see what's going on with the burning with Logan Sargent.
Well, Sargent's currently out on the circuit, he's on push laps as well, but Synth, considering Josh actually put his headset on quite quickly there as well, but Synth, this is getting a bit ridiculous now, isn't it? But having to talk constantly about the jewellery. It was a main focus last year in practice comms, but he still got it in. Now, from the FIA's viewpoint, I agree. Why can't he just take it out? Why does he need it in? He's a racing driver for Formula One, it's against the rules. Why does he leave it in? From Lewis Hamilton's point of view, I also agree with him. Why should he have to remove it to be in compliance when it's his own body? If he signs an exemption, that's fine. So I can see both sides. So just to put this story to bed, what do you think about it all? And I'll ask Josh the same. Should he just take it out, or should he just leave it in and sign the exemption?
Yeah, I mean, it's about safety what we're talking about, right? So I think safety should come first, but I guess his piercings are a bit too important for him, I guess. So I don't know. It's a difficult situation, of course.
Of course, he quite alarmingly said he had one somewhere where he couldn't remove it, and every gentleman crossed his legs at the press conference, as he did. But as Magnus across the line, 135.428. Josh, what do you think? Should you just remove it or just leave it in? It's a bit of a thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. And just having a look at the 5-track Logan Sargent going really slow, but he's picked up the pace and let a car through. That was at turn 12 and turn 13. But yeah, if you can, which if you had an operation, you could. Can we just remove it and move on? It's a new season.
Fresh start, yeah.
With I'm going to mention it. Please don't kill me. It's like the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
Oh.
When we started the
as to who's insane and who's not insane, I suppose. Across the line, Hamilton has just gone third as Russell goes ninth, 135.999 on the board, and that's just saying no, that's literally nines on the board. Leclerc into the pit lane. And let's take a replay of Charles. This is the rear wing taking a lot of flex coming through turn 10 there, Sims. And Ferrari with a new rear wing, the same as Mercedes. Bit more of a sort of a bucket shape on the rear wing. It sort of dips down and back up again, almost like you're on a shovel.
Yeah, well, probably did not use that in previous testing because we can still see some flow fish paint on the car, so they're still testing it. Probably because they didn't want to reveal it in pre-season testing.
Yeah, Mercedes done the same. There's Fred Vasseur, watching on. The Ferrari team principal, no more Mattia Bonotto. He's gone off to his vineyard to make wine and champagne, I found as well, actually, which is good because many people said, well, how do you make champagne? I was like, well, same way you make wine, you just add the fizz. to come through. Oscar Piastri's back in the garage. Sargent must not be burning too much as well because he's out there on the circuit just doing the laps. He's done 8 so far, joint with Leclerc as well. Now Sainz cross line to 9, but they've done most laps in this session. But Logan Sargent being an American as well, which is looking good. Oh, warning. This live contact may contain strong language. So we not only have the onboards, Josh, but we've got the driver's radios as well. I
Yes,
forget if we ride with them. Oh, love this.
Yeah, and not censored.
Oh,
We have
really?
uncensored
Of course, yes.
team radio.
Yeah,
I do
it's live,
believe,
of course.
on the onboards.
This is going to be a lot of fun throughout the season that we get to play with this little toy. I can't wait. And this is going to be absolutely mental. So stay with us because it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait. Right, Joe, up towards turn 11. 103 was his first sector. There was a... trying to find it on his 19th. It's a 30.835 first sector. Second sector's a 42.038. And the mini sectors guys are working, which is good to see. As he's pushing, he's setting personal best. A little bit snap there. Sonoda goes 16th, 136.763. But we're 22 minutes into this season, and so far, it's Red Bull, Aston, Mercedes, Haas ahead of Verstappen.
Yeah, well, these Haas drives, of course, on the softs. I don't know if we should be worried that Stroll is still in the pit lane.
That's true. No time set. He's done 2 laps, and no more. Oh, well,
Let's hope.
yeah, get Ted down there, because he needs time in the car, doesn't he?
Yeah, definitely. And well, not sure if there's a car issue or an issue with Stroll himself with his arms in his hands, but hope it's not the case. Because otherwise, well, they need to find a replacement. Well, they've got Felipe Drugovich at this track now, but obviously Stroll wouldn't want to miss another race. Definitely, if Aston Martin is actually that competitive, it would be such a shame if they have to use reserve drivers for a few races.
Wing mirror loose on the side of the McLaren, and they're having to glue it back together again. Now, these new wing mirrors are 2 meters wider than the ones last season, so the drivers have a bit more visibility in them, which doesn't
We've seen it in
make a
testing as
difference.
well.
Yeah, doesn't make a difference though, does it? Because you can't see a wing mirror down that straight. They're mainly aerodynamic things, aren't they? Because I've never seen a driver use their mirrors in their life.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Stoffel Van Dorn and Felipe Drugovich. Now, they're going to be playing rock, paper, scissors in a few minutes' time in order to see who hops in the car after Stroll decides, nope, can't do it. But Daddy Stroll wants him in the car, despite the fact he's got a broken wrist and severely bandaged left wrist as well. Stroll is somehow still driving a Formula 1 car. Then again, if Marc Marquez can ride with broken bones, I'm not sure why Lance can't. But then again, it's Lance Stroll, so nothing should be out of the question in terms of what he would do to stay in the F1 scene.
On the F1 season bingo that I have created, and it is in the Discord if anyone wants it. Stroll crashes into another driver is one which I've got.
Several times?
No, but I don't know if you've noticed this, Josh, but on the pit lane drawing for the event notes, Williams have 2 pit boxes.
You've got it? I had to make my own. Didn't notice that. Right. So send me that. Let's go to Ted. Ted.
Well, the car's broken, not Lance.
Oh,
Lance is fine. So don't you worry about Lance. He's good. But there is an issue on the car that's fairly serious enough for Martin Whitmarsh and Lawrence Stroll to be looking at the back of the car. Martin Whitmarsh getting more and more involved, actually. Saw him lots over testing. Of course, he's sort of head of the Aston Martin wider sort of performance division. Not directly involved in the Formula 1 team in terms of, you know, being a team boss or anything like that. But he's paying much more attention now that Aston Martin or I don't know whether it's a coincidence, he's paying more attention now that Aston Martin have a car with which they think they can score podiums. But anyway, there is Martin Whitmarsh at the back, Lawrence as well. It looks like it's something fairly major, hydraulic perhaps. I don't think it's power unit because it is it's just on the right-hand side in amongst the radiators just above where the engine would be. I don't think it's power unit. I think it's more likely to be We think it's an ignition issue, actually. We're just hearing from the team, and I think it's going to take at least 15 minutes, potentially 20 minutes to
It's
fix.
so frustrating for him, Ted.
That is frustrating. But yeah, just happy to put it right that it's nothing to do with Lance and his wrists.
Thanks, Ted.
Thank you, Ted, and his teammate up in...
Well, thanks, Ted. We've got that open now, actually, as well, because if you go on the onboard cameras, if you are... Oh, I've pressed the wrong button. Sorry, everyone. This is going to go a bit laggy because I've pressed the wrong button, which is always a stupid thing to do, so I do apologise. Yeah, Josh, if you look at the onboards, we can actually see what they're fiddling at, which is a really useful feature. And actually, since on U2 on F1 TV, if you press Stroll's, you're nodding good, we can actually see it as well. But every time I look into his eyes, I just want to pluck his eyebrows. Don't know what it is. It's like the Nigel Mansell eyebrows, isn't it? If he had a moustache as well, it'd be even better. When he comes through. I'm being really negative today, aren't I? I don't know why. It's an off season, it's not quite right yet. It's still got a lot to do, but yeah. Oh, they've got an ad break, which means it's my time actually now, which I should have been doing, is to actually get the information that I was just talking to you about, because we've got the ability this year to actually hear more of the drivers, which requires me to do several thousand devices changings in order to get that back by pressing this button now. And, well, right now we can't hear any track action. So let me go to what I hope is the pit lane channel working at the moment. No, it's not working yet. So let's go to Verstappen on board, as he is actually just coming to the pit lane on this little run now. Oh, is he coming out of the pit lane? He is. So, Josh and Synth, if you grab open your Verstappen cams on your battles, we'll take a look and see what he does on his outlap. Then we'll talk around a lap with him as well, because he's got car just ahead of him, Alexander Albon. But it's all looking quite nice, isn't it, actually? And it's nice to actually hear the cars in motion for once and hear them more flowing. Is Verstappen going to be a 3-time champion, do you think, Synth? Sorry, I'll go to...
No, yeah, I'm here. Yeah, well, I do think so, to be honest. I think he's definitely the favourite for this year. But, you know, I'd love to see a surprise. But, yeah, I do think that's the most, well, obvious thing. I think that might be the biggest chance that Verstappen will be winning the champion this year. Then we will be winning the championship this year. Wow.
My timing screen on F1 TV has gone absolutely Fruit Loop on me as well. But Josh is looking at it as well. Verstappen doing a cool lap. He's out there on brand new tyres as well, just starting to get going again. He's got to take this season really calm, because he knows he's on the verge of becoming an F1 great. But just to go back to you before I had to cut you off for Aston, I have just seen it, and Williams does have 2 pit boxes because they forgot Haas, haven't they?
Yeah, the Haas's pit box is Williams, but the Haas's pit garage is Haas. So it doesn't really make any sense. I bet we'll get a version 2.
Yeah, well, I don't need it. I don't need it, and I'll show you why. Because that came out like this afternoon, didn't it? Just before during the practice session. But I needed it set up for Formula 3 and Formula 2 this morning. So I created my own little document, and this is what we've been doing all season as well, because we commentate on F2 and F3. I'm sending it to you. I've combined the pit maps for F3, F2, and F1 and put little logos so I know which is which. So I know where everybody's parking in the pit lane. This year, and I'm sending it now, Josh, across as well. And it is incredibly little handy document. There you go, I've sent it across. As Max Verstappen gears up for lap. Synth, don't know if you're seeing the pictures we are. Do you want to take us through a lap with Max Verstappen?
Well, I'm not sure if we at the same time. I think Verstappen on my screen is going towards turn 4 now.
Oh, I'm at turn 1. Go on.
Well, let's just take a look on board with him. I'll be a bit in front of you, guys. I think then to turn 5, 6, and 7, then into turn 8. This is an easy corner to lock up, of course, which Verstappen doesn't do, but he does go a little bit too deep, which costs him a little bit much time. Turn 10, obviously, we've seen a lot of locking up there over the course of pre-season testing, but Verstappen keeps it nice and neat going through there. And another DRS zone here towards turn 11. I'm not sure where you guys are now at the moment.
Turn 8. So we're just caught up with you. But we're back with main TV pictures. And Fernando Alonso, by the way, has gone off the track down at turn 4, and I think is now continued, if I'm correct. So he's got going again.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, here we go. There you go. Verstappen's just crossed the line now as we join back with the TV pictures. Looking fast. I'm just getting the T feed available on my laptop because I lost access on the main balls up here in the box, which is always good. But yeah, car 4, as you can see on your driver tracker, new this year. Josh had it last year, but we've got it back permanently with our main screen this year so that he can have a full screen set up. The car 14 Alonso off track and continued at turn 4. 29 minutes and 33 seconds to go then of this season as they come into fruition. And we're just watching now Nick de Vries following by one of the Alpines. Can't tell which one it is just yet. They're all Ocon. There we go, over each other on the data there.
I almost wanted to say Fernando Alonso.
Yeah. So I wanted to say Racing Point. I had to really stop myself from saying anything different there, which is always a good thing. Right, let's catch up with the YouTube chat as well. SHT says as well, actually, just quickly, Chambers, Charles Torres says, watch up, formerly known as iRightBox. Nice to see you again. Good morning. As well, bought us Grand Prix tickets, turn 19 yesterday. Oh, enjoy that. It's going to be fantastic. Fernando, as SHT, good morning to you, says Fernando won here 3 times in F1, 2005, 2006 with Renault, and 2010 his debut Ferrari. Also had 1 pole position here back in 2005. He's the only F1 driver on the grid to have raced here in 2004. Going through it, Dimmer says, he asked Adam when's the Grid Live Network show. Adam responded, it's 12 noon tomorrow. Miss you, Adam, on the grid shows as well. Come back for some special ones. And Adam did say, I'll join you for Miami and Austin. Josh, can't wait. Can't wait either, mate. But what about Vegas show?
It's quite a lot different to last week. Copy, Joe. We will have a quick look.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, he said that the pedal map feels different from last week. So
the pedal map of the car, the throttle braking position is different as well for the acceleration in terms of your gears, how much throttle puts into gear pass as well. So we'll have to get that changed. And morning, Jess. He says, morning, Josh. Morning, everyone. As well. Morning, Jess. Hopefully having fun as well. Watching the F1 back underway. And we'll get Jess on for a couple of sessions this year as well, hopefully for a race at some point in the season, but busy schedules for everybody. It's organising calendars as well. Nice to have Jess and George, of course, join us from PSG with Richie as well. You'll hear from Richie this afternoon in practice 2. As well. No, you'll hear from Richie tomorrow morning, practice 3. Alongside Tom Dillon. Tom's with us this afternoon in the commentary box. He'll also be joining me in the IndyCar com box this weekend, as well as Synthos with me in F3 and F2. And Josh stays with us with F1 this season as well, desperately trying to get everybody, as Ted's got news of Ferrari.
On the power unit of Lance Stroll, so I believe he's back out on track, which is great news for Lance. Now, Ferrari. Now, take a look at this. This was earlier on in the session when they were trying out a single pillar rear wing. And I think you're seeing it wobble quite a bit.
We are.
Yeah, so they've been just trying out different things. And well, I don't know if you remember, Anthony, but in testing, it's... Sorry, is that Team Radio you can hear in the back?
It is.
Sorry,
yeah.
Do tell me, Natalie.
2 seconds,
There you
Ted.
go.
That's
That's the spirit.
Natalie's always want to
Late,
say
but,
2 seconds.
Just tell me to shut up, Natalie. Everybody else does, heaven knows. I mean, in testing, it seems like Ferrari were getting through rear wings, like I was getting through hummus, baba ganoush and flatbreads at the Arabic meze at breakfast. But it seems that now they've actually settled on the double pillar rear wing. So you see then in the garage, they've actually taken off that rear wing, which I assumed was the lower downforce one. Anthony, do you remember they were trying different wings in various points of testing, and they put the same
we were talking
one.
about it, Ted.
Yeah, so Leclerc now has the same rear wing as Carlos Sainz, with the double pillar mounting, goes in between the exhaust pipe. I think you can now see it being secured to Leclerc's car, and that I would assume they're now going to fix on that and run it for the rest of the weekend. But yeah, just interesting how Ferrari have still got development to go and learnings to be had on exactly what rear wing they run.
that is interesting, Anne, because testing was clearly limited to just 3 days. That is surely something they would have preferred to be doing at testing, not in the first practice session of the weekend here.
I'm a bit surprised by that, really, because, you know, it could be quite... It's so much movement from the wing. Is that a design flaw? And if it is, then...
It's a
in
serious
this
one.
day and age of the cost cap, where you can't be making mistakes like that, that could be literally quite costly for the team.
Like what Anne did there. Cost cap, quite costly. But he is right. That shouldn't flex that way as Stroll's back out on the track now. But that should not be flexing in the way it's flexing. So that is quite alarming for Ferrari to have that wing porpoising. Can we call it that? Sort of vibrations along the sides. Yeah, porpoising's still a thing, by the way. Bottas goes third, 134.689. Do you think it can get fixed since in Ferrari they've got the technical minds behind it to get it sorted?
Yeah, probably. Well, let's see what effects it has on Ferrari. Let's hope it won't cost them too much time and maybe even gain them time. I'm not sure why how they've come up with this and why it wobbles like that. I don't know if that's an advantage to Ferrari.
Yeah, Josh, bear with me here. Do you reckon it could be like a jelly effect? Like, no matter how much it moves, something in the centre of that wing stays still. Like the jelly. So...
Probably. There's probably going to be a meme now.
Yeah.
The jellyfish wing has arrived.
That's it. That's it. You've named it. It's the jellyfish wing. Perfect. See, this is what I've missed about the commentaries and the watch-alongs as well for practice sessions. You just come up with anything. So we're going to call it the jellyfish wing. Somebody timestamp that so nobody nicks it off us. Jellyfish wing. Well done, Josh. I'm going to go make some jelly after this session.
I am going to add a trademark to that right now.
Get it, done it, do it. Jellyfish wing. Yellow flag is briefly out of the circuit.
Is...
No idea where.
Norris, I do believe, at turn 2, he did slow down on the driver tracker for quite
here he is.
while.
Look at that, all 20 onboards, press the red button. That's just come up on the screen. There's Fernando Alonso on the side-by-side. All 20.
Favourite driver's perspective. And listen to their radio messages, if they're not interrupted by me, that is. All you need to do is download the Sky Sports app to your phone or tablet device, log in once with your Sky ID, and then head to the Sky Sports F1 channel to choose your driver. Sky Glass and Sky Q customers can also access this experience via your remote control. That's cool, isn't it?
That's very cool.
Well, we have the ability. That's Lando going straight on, Synth.
Yeah, definitely. I was looking at the onboard, which they just were talking about, and he was just going straight on. Didn't really lock up either, did he?
No.
Did he maybe try to get out of the way of the car who was on the inside, didn't want to hit him, or did he just notice he braked too late? I'm not sure what the reason was, but he just went straight on and caused the yellow flag, but nothing too serious for Lando.
I thought he might put his hand out of the car down there, but he didn't. I think it was trying to pass Tsunoda, maybe. I saw it was an AlphaTauri. Strolls on the radio.
Feedback from Carlo is that the brake balance
Just
is
let me drive the car, yeah.
Another year of Lance Stroll still being an absolute member of society to his pit wall. But that is ridiculous. Just let me drive the car. No, Lance, you're there for feedback. If you're not fit enough to drive the car, don't drive the car. Oh, science had a snap coming out of turn 4. It really does frustrate me that, especially with Lance Stroll, who must feel like he's being threatened because I assume he knows he's not good enough for Formula 1. It's obvious to us watching that Stroll, it never has the best. Oh, big one for Sainz! Lock the rear brakes, exactly the same as Piastri. Does a 360 coming into turn 10, and that was exactly what we saw from Piastri in testing. Just as he begins to turn, the rear brake snap. Round he goes as well, and looking that it's a large runoff there, not to hit the wall. That was a frightening one for Sainz.
A little heart attack there. I did not see that. Well, I thought I saw a little slide from him, but then I didn't see a yellow flag, so I didn't expect him to actually spin it. And then I saw all the smoke and stuff. So, well, big spin from Carlos Sainz. Luckily, there's a lot of runoff there. So, well, yeah, I guess very similar to Piastri.
Just having a look at it on the onboard, which is delayed. just got a massive snaps of oversteer going into turn 9 just as he was about to hit the brakes, or if he did hit the brakes and then that caused him to turn around going into turn 10.
Here
But
it is.
yeah, a massive spin, and here it is on
Oh,
the
great.
live TV pictures, Josh.
Yeah, because I just tried to get to him and forgot about it. So you saw that. I didn't. Right, sit. There we go, look. Watch the rear and take a listen to the brakes. Yeah, hits the bumps and brakes, and the car snaps in.
Yeah, definitely. Well, if you get a little slide and then you brake, obviously it fully turns around, which we saw with Sainz here. That made it look more dramatic. He was already going in a slide, I think, right on the bump.
Yeah.
And I think he was just very unlucky.
Yeah, I have the box. The ride was quite poor there, guys. Something changed.
Yeah, you can
Oh, soon as it runs on the curb, as soon as it hits the bump. Yeah.
Did he just turn in a bit too late? Just that little, if you go a little bit off line,
Yeah.
that you might hit a bit of a bump, which causes you to spin. Let's just see another look. Take another look at him on board.
Curb bump.
Yeah, it looks
bang.
like it is offline. You can
Yeah.
see the more black part of the surface on the left. So I think it may have been a bit too he turned it a bit too late there.
And he hit that bump as well. So let's say I'm trying to look on the floor. The car's proporting a little bit, turns in. You're offline
Oh,
there.
yeah.
So he gets offline. The rear grip locks up, hits the bump at the same time. It's a combination of errors that sends him off the road. Offline, hit the bump. Traction is gone on the tyres with the dirt on it, and round it goes. And the rear brake's completely locked as well. Front brakes too when he's panicking. So he hit the brakes
Yeah.
to spin. That was like Piastri's one. Very odd, and it's leading me to believe is there something down there at turn 9, 10 that we're going to take a look at. Let's go down to Ted.
I'm sure they won't be seen again. Good learning for Ferrari on terms of ride height and everything. Just worth underlining and reminding everybody that even though they raised the floor heights by a centimetre and a half, that doesn't mean porpoising has gone away. It's still there if you look for it. If you run your car too low to the ground and go searching in that area where the floor can effectively stall out, hit the deck, then raise up, and then gain downforce again and go down again, and then that just repeats itself, bouncing up and down, you will still find the porpoising. So, yeah, just teams have got to watch out for that. The other thing about the Ferrari rear wing, it is possible, I'll investigate this in the break between FP1 and FP2, that was just a development, a rear wing for a different circuit, perhaps Jeddah in a couple of weeks' time, but they weren't intending to run here. It is possible that that was just a sort of test item for Ferrari. But yeah, down at Red Bull, Sergio Perez just leaving the garage after they've been making some changes to the rear suspension of his car. And well, I don't know, I'm seeing all these changes. Guys, is it tempting to make these changes in the blazing sun of the day, knowing that the conditions are going to be quite different later on, which is when qualifying in the race are held?
What do you think? Since change now, suffer later, or just sort of? I suppose you've only got an hour track time, so if you notice something that can be beneficial to the cooler runnings later, you change it. Otherwise, you're going to be behind going into qualifying because the night running later is practically your only one to do qualifying and race runs at the same time. This afternoon's hour is going to be busy, busy, busy. Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute. You're on mute.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I do think. Well, I think it's very early on in the season, so it's quite common that we'll see them seeing some things they can change, which could improve their car. So, yeah, they should definitely just change it and see how it works out.
Josh, what have you been noticing now with your new setup? It gives you a lot more stuff. I know you were very much looking forward to it. I've seen it. I haven't been able to respond because I was flying around this morning and show goes forth. Looks fantastic. What new toys have you got to play with then over there? Is it just everything set up differently, or is it new little toys to play with?
It's basically what I did last night. So I was very busy last night. So my old setup was laid out all on the bed, which you can see a photo in the Discord.
Saw that, yeah.
And I've just basically moved the desk back so I'm closer to the window. You don't see it, but there's a very convenient print. Oh, I've gone all blurry.
Printer.
There's a very convenient printer here.
Oh, I see. See, that's what I don't
Well-
have in the commentary box, and I should technically have a printer. But I think I've actually run out of USB ports on the back of the computer with all
Yeah,
the
so
tech stuff. Got two on the front.
Basically, it's just my setup, but rearranged in a different way. But I've just had a look at the YouTube chat. SHT saying, very close there by Science. Not a smooth operator, but a shaky operator there.
Well, that was part of the karaoke over the winter break as well, wasn't it? The smooth operator stuff as well, and a lot of fun, a lot of enjoyment there. I must admit, it's nice to have Formula 1 back. Although it doesn't feel like it is yet. We had 3 days of testing. That felt normal. Then we've got 3 practice sessions. I won't be feeling like, oh, this is it until qualifying. I just know it. Is anyone else feeling the same? It's like, it's not F1 until it's qualifying.
Yeah, I agree. I do feel like, still these 3 practice sessions and then it will actually start. I think qualifying is the actual start of the season. That's when we're going to see who's actually going to be the fastest, who's going to be in title fight this year. And yeah, this practice session is just getting us a little bit more excited for tomorrow.
Yeah, and they've once again have changed it. So somebody pick a driver that's out on the circuit, and we can swap to as well to hear from, because the onboard has changed, and for some reason we're still. Let's hit the onboard mix. Let's hit that.
Ooh.
Unless the driver.
We can have.
Go on. I'm just checking.
We can have 25 and a half hours over 3 days.
Oh my God!
As we
What's
come
happened?
into
Your mic is. Your mic's got massive there.
Have it?
Yeah, and when you pushed it, it was like he was vibrating like crazy.
Well,
there we
we
go.
have had 25 and a half hours of ad-free coverage over 3 days of testing.
Yeah.
Straight in practice 1. This is our second advert in 45 minutes.
I'm just hoping that the data screen might not play the quick smart. No, it is. It's playing the adverts. Isn't that great? Multi-screen's not working, I've noticed, which was the old pit lane channel. It was working last year, so trying to find. We've got driver's eye with Max Verstappen. That'll do. Coming out of, for us, turn 13, we are behind a lot, which is always nice to see. My desk is rocking as well, actually, so I've got to fix that. Going into the segments later on tonight. As we come through, Perez is top if you're joining us with 13 minutes to go on a 130 something or other, because it's not showing on our timing screens. You're seeing the same one as us, and we're seeing the overall times, not the best times.
It's a
133.
132.758.
132, okay, so that's not too bad then. Coming through on the board. But yeah, I do agree with you though, Josh. 24 hours of ad-free coverage, and then all of a sudden, bang, we don't have anything else. I just wondered why my commentary notes were a bit fuller than normal. I've just realised I've gone back after putting Bahrain in. I've still got Mexico in here. Now I've got Singapore in here. I've got Japan in here. And I have Mexico in here. And the United States. I have and Brazil. All my notes are at the back of the book in terms of what we've gone through previously. Which I suppose is handy, because I was going to put Abu Dhabi in here too. Oh, there's some touring cars in here too, Josh, from Brands Hatch. So, yeah, nice to see that. But, yeah, my comp notes are all ready for Bahrain in the front of the book. Verstappen's doing a good lap time at the moment, just on a cool lap. We're out of driver's eye with him, but we're still on board as he comes round into turn 12 as well. He's lifted off, actually, and he's still second fastest. So Max isn't on a pushy lap. Let's see if the multi-screen's given us...
Kevin Magnussen, keep an eye on him.
Magnussen, where's he?
Kevin Magnussen and Nico Hulkenberg.
On board with Magnussen, coming through the tube section. Wow, yeah.
And Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton.
Mini sectors are going red, you're right. Yeah, look at that on your data screen. So if you're watching on with us on the YouTube chat, you can see on the timings the mini sectors. Oh, yeah, the mini sectors aren't on this computer. They're only on the other one. They are showing red. They are beginning to flash. So they're up on data.
Across the line.
Magnussen opens the DRS. Fifth fastest, 134.402. Hulkenberg is looking quick. Hulkenberg, we haven't talked about him much. Hulkenberg in Formula 1 once again.
Goes 12th.
Yeah, stays in 12th position. As we sync back up with the TV pictures. Here's Fernando Alonso there, Josh, as you said. Fastest in the first sector. Synth, what did you just notice?
Yeah, I was just clicking on board with Lewis Hamilton, and he has had a massive snap going into, I think it was turn 5, so 5 or 6 there. So, well, I just got scared a little bit by that because he nearly lost the rear end there.
keep an eye on that. Oh, hang on. Hamilton, if you're on board with him, that means if I flash up to him, I might be able to see that snap. Where was it again? Oh, I've just seen it.
Turn 6-5. Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah,
As
just
Alonso
seen
goes
the
up to
snap.
second.
Wow! Fernando Alonso can take a bow. 133.196, 4/10 down on Perez, but Alonso and that Aston seem to be working. He's 41 years old, nearly 42, and he is still pounding in these lap times. Unbelievable. Who's this coming to the line? Lando Norris. Cross the line, fourth still. Lando was recently on ITV1's This Morning as well. He was on yesterday, having a conversation, I believe, with Phil and Holly. But Ted's got news on Lance Stroll.
This car is not a stranger to him. It's not as if he hasn't driven since Abu Dhabi 2022. But certainly he hasn't got the experience of everybody else, and not least his teammates. So they're just finished making a little bit of change, and as you can see, he's got a brand new set of red stripes, soft tyres on. So this is going to give Lance a better feeling for the car, with the tyres gripping into this Shrewsbury granite around the circuit. So follow that up in about a minute and a half time once he's finished his out lap. But yeah, looking forward to being an avid subscriber to this user, to our great new onboard channel. I think I'm gonna. You put the question out there, Natalie.
Yes.
Who would you follow?
Go
Fernando.
Of course you would.
It's
yes.
got to be. Come on, the most amusing and informative radio messages out there. I'm going to have a 4 mix with Fernando Alonso, Nico Hülkenberg, probably who else tends to talk in lots of detail and very
Yuki.
often. George is always good on the radio, and maybe Max Verstappen as well.
And Yuki.
That's right.
I love Yuki on the radio.
Yeah.
Nats has just said that, Josh, Yuki on the radio, which is completely right. I'm looking forward to it more than ever. I knew this was going to happen. Do you remember, Josh, we were talking about in Abu Dhabi about we're going to have all these data screens back operational as well. I was waiting, and I'm so happy they're here. And honestly, I've just remembered I have my iPhone as well, which means I can probably look at another stream at the same time in this race. Zach Brown's on the pit wall with Natalie Pinkham.
Great to be talking to you. I know testing didn't quite go according to plan, and you're managing expectations, but how are you feeling with 8 minutes to go in this session?
Yeah, we're happy with the session so far. Listening to both drivers, they're definitely happier with the car than they were for the testing. So it looks like we're making some forward progress.
Zach, it's Anthony here. I mean, from the outside, it looked like the rear end stability was part of the biggest issue for the car during testing last week. Was that the case, and has it been eradicated now?
Well, as you know, with these cars, they're never perfect, so I wouldn't say we have anything solved. But yeah, we're making a step in the right direction, and been working on the rear of the car, and the drivers definitely feel like we're going the right direction.
Zach, Naomi here. The word coming into this weekend hasn't been very positive around what your team would potentially deliver here this weekend, but the picture's looking a lot better right now. We've got Lando up in fourth, just 1.4 seconds behind the Red Bulls. So can you already predict, have you got any prediction of where we might see you on the grid this weekend? What would be realistic?
Predictions are always tricky, especially this early into the weekend, but I think we'll put on a better performance than we did in testing. Q3 is going to be tight. The midfield is extremely compressed. So let's see. We'll know a little bit more later this evening.
Thank you so much for your time, Zach, and all the very best this weekend.
Thank you very much.
Zach Brown there with a quick interview on Sky Sports F1, and I'd like to say we got that sorted. Josh, what have you noticed?
Yeah, I'm just noticing Russell's coming through turn 14, and he's got a quick lap. Not the best Sector 2, but he goes 10th with a 134.966. Meanwhile, while we were down in the pit lane and with Zach Brown, Hamilton moved up from 10th to 9th with a 134.917. Gasly from 17th to 16th with a 135.455. And then Stroll, Green Sector 1, 29.940. Sector 2, a 40.805. And he is coming around at the final corner, so we will get to his lap time. And he goes 6th, and there's a pigeon.
Where is that pigeon? Well, that is remarkable that the TV direction is so improved. Instead of seeing a driver finish a lap, we're watching a pigeon at turn 1.
They have returned from Zandvoort.
Just gonna internalise my screaming that the TV direction is still not good.
Well,
Oh, by the way, if you are an English speaker and you are in the UK, Channel 4 this year is going to be having their commentary team from F1 TV. They're in-house. So Alex Jakes has moved over to F1 TV to take on lead commentary role there and on Channel 4. His commentators will be Jolyon Palmer and James Hinchcliffe and David Coulthard. And this weekend we'll have Alex Jakes, David Coulthard and Jolyon Palmer in the commentary box. In fact, they're commentating right now as well. But we'll see highlights of that, because no longer on F1 TV will we see Crofty on the commentary highlights. On YouTube and elsewhere, the commentary highlights will be from F1 TV's Alex Jakes commentary team as well. So no longer Sky Comms, but Sky is still the international distributor, but for internal F1 and Channel 4, it's Alex Jakes. There you go.
yeah, and Lance Stroll 6th and Alonso 2nd, so both Aston Martins in the top 6. Just having a look down to the bottom of the time screen, Alexander Albon a 30.409 Sector 1. We're about to get to Sector 2. The time Stroll has pulled over for Alexander Albon. Driver's eye with Oscar Piastri, a 41.571 Sector 2 from Alexander Albon, including a purple mini sector.
Looking good then, Synth, as well. Just thinking with Stroll being P6, if he had testing, could he be up there in top 3? Actually, let's hear. He's down in the pits.
It's true, Natalie.
Oh,
It was
yes.
real. It was
I feel your
real,
energy.
wasn't it? It
Yeah.
was real. The pace was real. All right, okay, I know we're not in the conditions we've got, but hey, this is a proper practice session. We've seen these before translate to proper pace throughout the weekend. We don't know the fuel. We do know Fernando was on the soft tyre when he set that time, splitting the Red Bulls. All right, we don't know what Red Bull had in their pocket, not least the Ferraris. We've had a bit of a more troubled session with rear wings going here and there and all of that, and spins. But I am starting to believe it, and you wouldn't know it by looking in this Aston Martin garage as everybody's got their poker faces on and Fernando's sat in the car with the screens obscured, so I can't see into his lovely light brown eyes and see exactly what's going through his head. But I'm starting to build my own excitement for this team. Alonso podium! Come on. I said it at the beginning of the end of testing, and I'm going to stick with it, Natalie.
Yellow flag somewhere on the circuit. Can't see where, though. It's just flashed green now. There it is, yellow sector 2. And it's Hülkenberg and Stroll down at turn 1, we believe. So I'll flick to them on the data screen to see who it was. Well, keep an eye on it. Green flags now. But yeah, Synth, coming to you then on that question. If Stroll had the testing, could he have been as fast, if not faster than Fernando, and be in second?
Well, maybe. I mean, it's just over one lap, of course, he had with those soft tires. So, well, if it's going to be quicker, with testing, I'm not too sure. I mean, Fernando is just, I think he's quicker than Stroll, and I don't think he's going to be able to get quicker than him. I think, to be honest, Alonso will absolutely beat Stroll throughout the season. But yeah, well, maybe it could have been a lot closer into the top 5 as well.
No idea what that yellow was for, because Leclerc went through okay and Hülkenberg and Stroll went through okay, so not sure where it is. 2 minutes to go though in this session. By the way, just to explain the next 2 minutes, we're no longer having qualifying highlights in the build-up to the race because it took too long. So we're going to have a 20-minute talk usually, then we'll have pit lane open, Martin's grid walk, back up to the box. So it's an hour, but it's different than usual. That way, it's more flexible on the race weekends where we can't do an hour build-up. For things like MotoGP, where it interrupts, we can do a half hour instead with Tom presenting. So we've changed the format this year. And with that, because we have practice and qualifying live anyway. For Formula 2 and Formula 3, you can join us later on this evening for highlights of practice and qualifying from both series. They'll air later tonight. Going to get those edits sorted as well just after 5 o'clock, I believe. after Formula 2's finished, so we'll get all those sorted. They will air this evening as well. And I'm delighted to also say, don't forget, we've got the PSGL E-Series tonight at 7 p.m. I'm stepping in as the co-com alongside Josh Davis to to replace Jack, who's busy and as well that weekend. So I will be in the comms box. Hey, my B-reel's gone off. 2 minutes until I have to do it. Should we take a? That's something for testing. Should we take a B-reel to end testing? That's something as well. Let's see how.
Wow.
-1. Yeah, there we go. Get this. Smile, guys. Smile. 3, 2, 1 now. There we go. Lovely B-reel. I've posted that as well. Oh, it's just got a car going past. Yeah, go on, Josh.
Yeah, Albon's on a flyer 30.341, and getting quite tight there with Alexander Albon, and that
blocked.
would be got blocked by the McLaren of Oscar Piastri, but that was a very good lap time of 30.341, sector 1, and Alex Albon is not going to be happy with that.
I've got his onboard open to see if he moved his hand. The checkered flag is out though. The session is over. The checkered flag is out though. I hate that. He keeps glitching. Checkered flag. Session is over. And I'm just taking a look to see Alexander Albon as well. He's going to go through. Piastri's ahead of him. So Albon tries to go on the inside. Piastri turns in and blocks his lap. And yeah, no hand went up actually from Albon, but he did look a bit frustrated. There as well on the onboard. Hamilton ends this session 10th fastest and in the pit lane, so he won't do a practice start on the grid. That's quite alarming. Lewis did say that he knows the car needs a lot of work, and there is an upgrade package coming for Baku at the moment as well. So we'll keep an eye on that. Yeah, I don't know what's happened with the data screen, because every time I keep trying to click it, it keeps going back. Here's Yuki Tsunoda though, 6th down at turn 8.
Yeah, behind Lewis Hamilton. Oh, sorry, behind Russell. Big lockup in turn 8, going very wide. So he's just managed to get a big flat spot on his front right tire right before the end of the session. Don't think that was because of Russell being right in front of him, but yeah, big lockup there for the AlphaTauri.
Just keeps it in, holding it together. Albon wasn't happy, so everyone's now taken the flag past Sargent. Where is he? Sargent. Well, he must have taken the flag. Because he's on a cooldown lap, so I think the graphics have glitched there. But checkers are out. Session is over. Alonso hasn't taken it either, actually. He's not on a push lap. So, here is Rando. Did he manage to get a lap? No, he's off. So, yeah, graphics glitched there. There we go, yeah. They were doing that in Formula 3 this morning in the practice session. They were glitching as well. So we will have practice starts on the grid, and we'll go through the session results. I'm just going to check those session results, because not even Josh has seen the new graphics, I don't think. Have you, Josh?
There's new graphics.
Yeah, for the results page and the starting grid. I don't think you've seen them.
I might have done. I don't know.
No,
probably not.
Yeah, I can't remember, but I did it a few days ago, and it was all set
no,
up.
then no, I haven't seen it.
Just checking they're all in the right order, actually. That's something I'm a bit nervous about. Yes, they are all in the correct order. Let's have a replay, though, because this is... Oh, this is Albon 6th. Talk us through it.
Yeah, well, it was clear that he was being held up by Oscar Piastri here. And the speed that he came through through turn 13, he was getting so much quicker as well. So if he didn't move out of the way, he would have... Yeah, nudged his front wing off into the McLaren. So, well, a bit too close.
Practice starts. Was that a rookie error then, do you reckon?
Yeah, well, I think so. Well, maybe he didn't just... his team should have helped him with that as well. It's coming out of turn 12, which is such a quick corner, and just the Williams just came up with him without him noticing. So I think that should have been a call from the team, to be honest.
Max Verstappen lining up, finished 3rd in this session as well. It's Sergio Perez who's topped it, which, Josh, you've got the data there. Perez, that means Red Bull top a session for the first time since 2021?
Yep.
So that's a good start to the season. They won the championship, of course. Although they didn't win the Constructors that year. Away we go. Drop the clutch. Bad start for Max Verstappen, that. That was terrible. It was all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, out of 10 too. Yeah, not great that one.
Well, on board with Sargent, he had a lot of oversteer as well. Just
Yes,
more with him.
I think Hulkenberg's coming back into the pit lane now as well, so all the cars will take it. Everyone, I think, has now done their practice start procedure. First car to take the flag was Zhou. Lando Norris coming in. And this is actually interesting because looking at this timing graphic, when the next session, qualifying for Formula 3 is underway at 2, I think? Yeah, 2. So that's European time. It's 1 p.m. here in GMT time for Formula 3 qualifying. Carlos Sainz. Sainz 20th, guys. We haven't noticed that. What happened there? Carlos Sainz to 20th. 1:36.072. 3.3 seconds off the pace. Shocking from there. They must have been doing some long runs.
Yeah, did not see that.
No,
That's all. I was not noticing. So, well, he had a spin as well.
Yeah, just
Oh, that's not too good. Well, Leclerc's up in 5th, so it's not really an issue with Ferrari, I suppose.
looks like they've done something differently there to just sort of shake it up and do a long run. He's done 21 laps. Must have done them all on the mediums, I would say.
Yeah. Well, if we gotta go from this standings now, McLaren looks better than expected, maybe.
Yes.
And maybe Mercedes a bit worse than we expected. If they're 10th and 11.
Yeah. I think Perez being up there, Aston's quick. Okay, let's take a look then at the session results from practice 1. It's Sergio Perez who's the fastest. Fernando Alonso showing that Aston's pace at the moment is genuine. He's P2. Max Verstappen goes into 3rd position as well. And Lando Norris on 4th. Last of the soft runners. Then Charles Leclerc 5th on the mediums. Lance Stroll goes P6. Kevin Magnussen 7th. Zhou Guanyu is 8th. Valtteri Bottas 9th. And Lewis Hamilton rounds out the top 10. And on the second half of the page, George Russell is 11th. With Oscar Piastri in his first practice session 12th. Yuki Tsunoda's 13th. Nico Hulkenberg 14th. Esteban Ocon 15th, Nick de Vries is 16th, 17th Pierre Gasly, 18th Logan Sargent, 19th Alexander Albon, and 20th for Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari. We're expecting that to be a long run thing. So there's the results then. I don't know if Josh has seen the new graphic on the screen for the results there. Have you seen it?
I do like it, yes.
Starting grid looks even better as well. We'll see that on Sunday. As well. So then, Synth, what's been your moment of the session?
Well, obviously the spin of Sainz, that was one of the most surprising things of this session, and him being down there in P20 is surprising. But most session, I think maybe Fernando Alonso being in 2nd place. I think that's very exciting, and looking forward to Aston Martin this year.
Josh?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We'll have to see who is on top and if Sainz can improve from 20th in practice 2 later on. But it's going to be a really interesting season, as I said at the start of the session, and interesting to see Aston Martin. And it's good to see that their Aston Martin's pace is genuine following on from testing.
It's going to be great. Go get some lunch. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Since Josh, I'll see you, I think, practice 3 or qualifying tomorrow. I can't remember because you gave me time to get everything set up. I know you'll be around anyway to drop in. Next, Tom Dillon joins me in the comm box for practice 2. Megan is with us too, but I don't think until half past the hour, maybe a bit later. So maybe Josh might get in the end, then we'll just swap around for practice 3. But either way, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's Sergio Perez then, who tops the first practice session of 2023. We'll be back then at 2:45 GMT for the second practice session. Reminder, join us tomorrow morning, the sprint race, Formula 3, 9:15 as well. Then practice 3 is at 11:15. The sprint race of Formula 2 is at 1:15. Qualifying is from 2:45 here on YouTube. And on Sunday as well, it's a big race day. So much going on. Feature races F3, 8:50. F2, 10:20. Bahrain Grand Prix live on YouTube and on USON as well. That's from 2 p.m. GMT. At 5 p.m. straight after the Bahrain race as well, we go over to St. Petersburg for IndyCar, and then at 9 o'clock GMT we'll do the Grand Prix review, now renamed to the Weekend Review as well. We'll have that later. Thanks for your company, Synth. Thanks for your company, Josh. We'll see you soon. Take care. It's Perez on top. Now into the night and see who's fastest. Bye bye.